It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission really is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. In this episode, we have the one and only Melodi Parker. She's in the building, and she'll be talking about mental health or mental wellness and how that really impacts those high achieving, successful entrepreneurs. I know that's you. Even if you're a successful leader, I know you're saying that's you. I get it. I'm with you. So take a moment, if you would, Melodi. Let me first say hello. How are you?
Good. How are you? Nice seeing you, meeting you in person.
Thank you so much. It's nice meeting you in person through the power of these fiber optic lines. So thank you so much. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show, and you're allowing us to come into your home right now. So thank you so much. Before we jump into how famous you are, Melodi, and all the wonderful things you're doing in the world, and some people read your bio and others haven't. So we'll get to your backstory. But I'm curious, why are high achieving entrepreneurs? I mean, these are folks who are smart. They're doing pretty well. They've got it going on. They're super successful. Why are they struggling with mental health or mental wellness these days? What's holding them back?
So we all have mental health. It's how we take care of our health. So everything we do is connected. How we take care of ourselves spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally is all connected. So if one thing goes lacking, then the rest will eventually go lacking as well. And so when we think about trauma is very subjective how it is to the individual. And we always think of something dramatic. But trauma also looks like constantly feeling like you have to prove yourself, not trusting people, overworking because rest feels unsafe. And as high achieving entrepreneurs, I got to make this money, I got to meet this deadline, I got to do this and I got to do that. There's so many things to do to stay on top. And we've normalized survival mode. So survival mode, is great for crisis. But when you think about building your empire, building your enterprise, is everything crisis. It's not supposed to be. That's not healthy. So unaddressed trauma shows up in businesses like micromanaging, difficulty delegating. And I know it's your baby, so you don't want to just give a responsibility to anybody, but you cannot not allow someone to help you build your brand, avoiding hard conversations, overcommitting. And then all of this leads to burnout. And when you have burnout, are you making rational decisions? So as entrepreneurs, sometimes we have to move in the moment. And if we're moving in the moment, we're not giving ourselves to just pause for a second to rationalize the decisions that we're making. So we might avoid necessary risks because having your own business, you're taking a risk. You're not getting that same amount necessarily every month like you would with your 9 to 5. So think about it this way. Entrepreneurs, they don't fail because they lack vision. I mean, that might be part of the problem, but they might struggle because they're exhausted. Think about you as a business owner. When do you rest? When is, okay, I got to make this next appointment. I got to do this next thing. When do you actually rest? And then when you do rest, are you crashing? So that's something to think about. And we want to make that money. We want to make sure we're on top of things. But if we're not checking in with ourselves, checking our capacity, then that leads to burnout. That means we're not taking care of our mental health or our overall well-being. So I hope that answered your question.
That answer, that's spot on. And that leads me to another question. I might be the only person that has this problem, so I'm not going to, maybe this is a personal counseling session, right? But before we get into your background, because that was a great opening, I'm curious, what are some of the warning signs that someone should know that their mind or their body needs to slow down and rest? Because as entrepreneurs, we just push through. It's what we do. It's a part of the normal day of life. So I guess the question I have directly, and maybe I'm the only one answering, but it's got to be on someone's mind, and that is, well, what are the warning signs? Like, what should I look for? I'm always tired. So what should we look for to know that we're the mind needs to rest or the body needs to slow down some?
Do we ever take the time to listen to our body? There's this great book called The Body Keeps the Score, and our body tells us when to slow down. But actually, it's too late by the time our body tells us. When your eye starts twitching, when you feel that tension in your neck, shoulders, your back, when you're making irrational decisions, when you just feel fatigued, overwhelmed, that's when you should slow down. But like I said before, you should slow down beforehand because by the time your body is telling you, you've probably already reached your capacity. So it's being aware, more attuned as to what's happening with your body. I know for me, when my eye starts twitching, that means I'm not going to bed when I'm supposed to. So I need to turn off the TV or turn my phone down and go to bed maybe 5 minutes earlier. It's just taking those steps to pace yourself to get a consistent routine. It's a habit when you're unaware. But when you become aware that I'm running myself in the ground and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm snacking all the time, I'm not eating anything healthy, nutritious that's going to give me the energy to keep pushing, as you said, that's when you need to take a break. Society has it flipped. Society says you got to keep it moving, otherwise, you're not successful. But how am I going to keep it moving if I don't have the energy, the rest, the brain power to keep it moving? I'm not going to be successful.
What do you say to the person? Because you're spot on. I love it. I feel like you've been got a camera in my house somewhere. I'm curious. Before we get into your backstory, what do you say to the person that's watching right now and they're saying, Shay, she's talking to me. And the question I have for her, Shay, is, well, I'll just say this. Let me frame it. Many of our entrepreneurs are dualpreneurs. They work a full-time job and they're a full-time entrepreneur. And someone's wanting to know, and here's going to be the question, how does someone slow down without feeling guilty when they have so many other responsibilities? So someone watching wants you to know, hey, let them know I'm a husband and I got to take care of my family. I'm a wife. I got to take care of my family. I'm in a relationship. I got to take care of my family. Someone else is saying, Shay, let them know I got real responsibilities at work. Like I'm that person at work. Someone else says, Shay, let them know I have kids and my kids have a schedule and they're dependent on me. Someone else is watching and saying, well, I'm like Shay, I'm a caregiver. I got a responsibility for someone else. Then someone else saying, Shay, let them know I got all that going on, plus school, plus some more, plus I'm involved in my church and other activities. So, Shay, how does someone slow down without feeling guilty when so many people are dependent on them? I know it's an unfair question for you, but I'm curious what your thoughts are.
A lot of people have different roles that they play, and sometimes they just can't afford to take a break. But you cannot not afford to take a break. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, especially when you have other people depending on you, whether you're in a relationship or you're single and you're just handling all on your own. If it's just 2 minutes, so as you're getting up to start your day and you engage in deep breathing, and some people are like, yeah, I breathe all the time. Yeah, we do a lot of shallow breathing, but we don't take the time to be intentional to do the deep breathing. If it's just 30 seconds allows so much to happen internally. What you're doing is allowing the blood flow to circulate through your body, to slow down your heart rate, to send oxygen to your brain, to reset, to pause. I mean, I really wish there was a reset button. So as you're getting up, moving around, getting the kids up, or about to get in the shower to start your day at 5 o'clock in the morning, you can breathe as you're doing that. Now, of course, it would be great if you could just sit and have a moment to deep breathe also. Sometimes you can't because you got to keep it moving. Maybe you overslept. That deep breathing does wonders to your body. And you start that in the beginning of your day, and you will do it at the end of the day as well. And as many times in between. Some of us have smartwatches that tell us to breathe, and then we decline or dismiss it. No, you need to pay attention to it. And like I said before, it's just starting. So the more that you allow yourself to start, and people say, Melody, I'm trying. Trying becomes doing. You're actually doing. So acknowledge that you're doing, even if it's just a little bit. A little bit adds up to a whole lot. And to give yourself grace. If you feel that guilt because I just want to breathe and take a moment to myself and not have to deal with the kids or deal with mom and daddy because I'm their caretaker, or get on my third shift because I had a 9 to 5 and I'm just trying to make these coins. That guilt may set in because you do take a break. Acknowledge what you feel. I don't want to dismiss anybody's feelings because Those are your feelings, they're valid. However, if you're allowing yourself time to reset so you can be productive and efficient, why not gift yourself with that? And for those of the people who are listening who are believers, it's a scripture that says, the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. So he that endures, how can you endure? Are you sprinting a marathon? How are you going to endure that marathon if you're sprinting? That means you're not well equipped. So, how can you equip yourself to run that marathon?
I like it. Spot on. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being so direct. Thanks for being so authentic and open. Some folks are in the kitchen right now. Someone's cooking dinner and like, whoa, Shay, I like what I'm hearing. It makes sense and it speaks to me, but I don't know who this person is. I didn't read her bio. I didn't get a chance to Google her beforehand. Someone else is listening saying, okay, but what's her backstory, Shay? What's her background? Why is she so passionate about this? I mean, how did she even get started? So let's slow down. For the person that's listening on podcast, thank you so much. For those that have us on your TV, hey, we appreciate you. Take a moment if you would, and you know the question by now. Who are you? What's the backstory that led Melodi to doing what she's doing now?
I am from the great state of Oklahoma. I know some people say, is Black folks there? Yes, we do exist. And I moved here when I got engaged. My husband, born and raised here, moved to Texas and just really wanted to be a therapist, wanted to give back to people, was always in the helping field. My mom is actually a therapist in Oklahoma, but the secret is I was a therapist first. But we come from a family of givers. We just love to give and help people. And growing up in Oklahoma, you kind of see the disparities and wanting to bring awareness to my people, to the BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous, people of color. There are resources out there, but some of our people just don't know that they're out there. So bringing awareness to people to let them know that there are people that look like them who can help them along their journey. And I was in education for 12 years. I started out as a teacher. It wasn't meant to be. I really was supposed to go to medical school, didn't do well on my MCAT, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. And I said, but I could still be a doctor, get my PhD, which is still back here, and be a therapist. And so my journey started at OSU. I transferred to UNT when I moved here and got engaged. Graduated from UNT while teaching. I was the department head for teaching science. And then I transitioned to a school counselor at a neighboring district and stayed there until right before the pandemic. And there was just a calling. I was helping parents. I was spending more time with the students instead of schedule changes, RTI 504. I said, there's something more that I need to be doing. And that's when I transitioned to full-time private practice. That was 2019. The pandemic just changed everyone's life, and there was such a need. I struggled answering the phone because everybody who called, I wanted to say, yes, 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 I'll help you. And I was seeing like 40 clients a week. That's how I know about being exhausted and overwhelmed and saying yes when I should say no. And the private practice grew into a small group practice. And the name of the practice is Mending Broken Pieces, Counseling and Consulting Services. We are located in DeSoto, one of the best Southwest cities in Dallas County, but we service all of Texas. And Melodi Parker is a person who loves the Lord, who loves helping others, who really just wants to bring awareness to the community, no matter what you look like, how you deal, want to give you the tools that you need to let you know it's okay to not be okay. It's okay if you're struggling. Counseling doesn't mean that you're in crisis mode and that you need a quick fix. That's not the case. Normally, when people come, it's to be reactive because something has happened. But counseling really is supposed to be proactive to give you the skills that you need to keep going, whatever direction you're going. So, counseling is not to give you advice, it's not to give you, hey, you need to do this. No, because at the end of the day, you have to make the choice. So, Melodi is a person who just wants to be a part of that journey. And that's who I am.
I love it. Thanks for sharing, by the way. What is one small habit that any entrepreneur can do right now to help them have less stress, I'll say it that, and deal with their mental wellness? without stopping their whole business?
So remember what I said. A habit is something that you're not aware of. So when you become aware of what you're doing, it's a choice. So it's choosing
Say that
your.
again. I like that. Say that one more time. I like that. It's
I
pretty
got it
good.
from somebody, so I can't take full credit for it. A habit is something that you're unaware of. So when you become aware of a particular behavior, then that means you're choosing. So when I wake up every day and I brush my teeth first thing, yes, I'm used to it. That's a habit or a routine, but I'm choosing to do that. So when you become aware of your behavior and that's something that you want to change, you have to choose to do something different. So the thing is, if you want to keep going, keep growing your business, kudos to you. You don't have to stop your business. You don't have to just stop midway. Pause. Like I said, 30 seconds goes a long ways. How is that business flourishing? So there has to be some time to think to yourself, how am I able to make six figures? How am I able to do whatever it is that you do well for your business? If it wasn't for you or the support group or family, friends that you have, but remember, it starts with you. So in order for you to maintain or to even grow, you have to water it just like we water our plants. You have to nourish it. That means you have to show some self love, some compassion, some grace, and you have to pace yourself. So, for you high achieving entrepreneurs, moving, take a moment to pause. 30 seconds is all I'm asking you to consider. And when you're taking that pause, take a deep breath in. Pat yourself on the back. Sis, bro, whatever, however you acknowledge yourself, you're doing it. Think about where you were last week or 3 months ago or the last quarter. Where were you and where are you now? If you beat yourself up, it's not going to change what has already happened. So you can check yourself real good. Okay, you know not to do that. Let's not do that. Let's do XYZ to move forward and do that. And that's how you can keep moving.
Perfect. And as you were saying that, it leads us to a segment we have here. That was good. Called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you already know what we're about to do. In fact, you can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. And for all the other folks who are tuning in for the very first time, today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is or how bright and sunny that past is back there, the past really no longer equals the future. And so my question for Melodi on the other side is really two parts. Number one, just when you hear the words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? What goes to your mind? And number two, when was the time that there was a setback for you? There was a challenge for you in your life or business, and how did you overcome it? I mean, maybe life's always been perfect. We'll figure that out in a moment. But how did you overcome it, and what did you do?
When I hear today is January 1st, a fresh start, a reset, renewing, and January 1st can be in February, it can be in December, it can be any time, giving yourself the opportunity to start all over again. How will you know if you're successful unless you fail? You got to know how to make a mistake and persevere. There's no perfect person at all. So, in the field that I'm in, is learning how to really just step back and reevaluate. And as you're doing that, January 1st, starting fresh, starting new. Okay, what did I do before? And then how can I use that to help me move forward? It was something else you asked. I'm sorry. What was the second part to that?
And what was one of the setbacks? That's perfect. What was one of the setbacks you had or challenge you had in this journey of life or business, and how were you able to bounce back from it?
So, as a business owner in private practice, it's not just me. When you have a group, you're working with other staff members. And in my field, we have students. So, they're in graduate school, matriculating on to process to be an associate. That means they're gaining hours to be under supervision, and then they're upgrading to become fully licensed. So, I know there's going to be change, I know there's going to be growth. And I get people who come along and we build a relationship and they have the same goals and morals in mind to bring awareness, and then they move on. So sometimes it's hard when they move on because they've been with me in the beginning. And it also affects revenue too, because of course, the more clients they see, the more the practice makes. But that relationship changes a little bit because now they're focused on growing their brand, and we still stay in contact with each other, but it's just a little different. So it kind of changes the dynamics of the practice because now I have to rehire and then get to learn somebody else and kind of help them along the way as well. So it's all a part of the business. And sometimes I'm like, oh, let me sign up for a 9 to 5. Let me look at who's hiring. But yeah, it's all a part of it. It's a learning process.
I love it. One of my favorite questions I like to ask when we have a few minutes, we have a couple of minutes now, is what's one of the best pieces of advice that you've ever been given? And I always like to frame it for the audience so they know you read countless books, you've had lots of studies, you've watched more videos and trainings than you can probably remember, had lots of mentors along this journey of life. But if you had to step back and say, you know what, Shay, I've had a lot of advice, but here's one of the best pieces of advice that's ever been given to me that I want to pass on to the audience, what would it be and why?
It's something very simple. As I said before, I really love the Lord and keeping God first in everything. There's a scripture that says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. In all my ways, acknowledge him and he will direct my path. I get so many ideas and it's just like, okay, where do I go next? But really, again, taking a step back and pausing. And instead of giving the Lord my plans, what plans do you have for me? How should I navigate in my business as a wife, as a mother, as a sister, as a friend? So just keeping God first in everything that I do has been one of the best advices, best mantras as an affirmation. Lord, I'm going to keep you first in every step of the way.
I love it. What does success look like for you these days? What does it feel like?
Really and truly, of course, the numbers, when the numbers look good, but the numbers don't define who I am as an entrepreneur. So,
Yeah.
and when I'm in my sessions and I hear my clients say how they feel, again, their feelings are subjective to them, but when their beliefs change and it's not so negative and they're able to pivot, that's success for me because I've been able to assist them. Again, it's their choice what they do outside of the session, so they have some work to do too. It is a team effort, but when they do the work outside of the session, or they'll send me a text, Melody, I was just thinking about this, and girl, I changed my mind, or thank you for doing what you do. Just hearing their testimony and being a part of their journey, that's success to me.
Love it. What do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world doing these counseling sessions, by the way, making everybody else smile during their day? What does fun look like for you these days?
Literally being outside. I mean, I know that's the thing, like, "Ooh, girl, I want to go outside," but being outside, just getting some fresh air or hanging out with the family. We like to go to the movies. I like trying new things. Just side note, a rage room is to be had. I know we talked about that previously, just getting out and letting off steam, getting a nice
Now,
massage.
now,
That's
now, now
fun.
you've got to explain rage room to some folks. I mean, they might not be like Shay Brown. Maybe I'm stuck in the prehistoric time. I don't know. But take a moment and talk about rage rooms and why that's so important these days and why it helps folks relieve stress.
Okay. Some people just are against going to therapy, especially our people. I'm not telling people my business and paying for it too. I can handle it myself. Okay, fine. If that's what you choose to do. Now, a rage room gives you the opportunity to release whatever, even if it's not pent up rage, anger that you have, and you want some recreational fun and get a workout out. They call them rage rooms, smash rooms, something of that sort. You get suited up, you have a mask, you have protective gear, you might have a sledgehammer, a bat, a crowbar, and you're just smashing. Whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I've done 20 minutes, and I'm telling you, at 10 minutes, I was like, okay, let me slow down because this is a bit much. but it's a safe environment. It's fun, a lot of energy. One of the ones that I went to had music playing, and it's just a fun way to let it all out and you're not going to jail. So, yeah, that's what a rage room is.
I love it. As we come down the home stretch, it's been an honor speaking with you. Two-part question. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days? That's important. And number two, how can folks connect with you? If they're like, wow, I like what I hear. I want to share. I want to stay in this conversation. Where should I go? Is there a website? How do I stay connected with Melody over and beyond today? So what should they do? Two questions. Number one, what type of clients you're looking for? And number two, how can folks connect with you?
Any client that is willing to grow. My niche is anyone dealing with grief and trauma. I am specialized in, or excuse me, I have training in EMDR and Brainspotting phases 1 and 2. So that deals with somatic therapy, which deals with the brain and the body and how they connect. Sometimes it goes deeper beyond talking on the couch, so to speak. It really clears the channel in your brain to reprocess the trauma that you've experienced. So, anyone who is dealing with grief or trauma, come and see me. Kind of full at the moment, which is a blessing, but I do have other providers who are willing to assist you as well. And if they want to get in contact with me, you can go to the website. It is a long name, but it's a beautiful name, mendingbrokenpiecescounseling.com. You can also hit me up on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So Instagram and Facebook have the same Mending Broken Pieces Counseling and Consulting Services. I think it's the full name. And then on TikTok, I have to look and see. It's been a minute, and I said I needed to start making some more videos,
Yes,
but I
I
want
know
to
that
say
problem.
that's another thing, on the list, right? As a high achieving entrepreneur, I think it has just the initials because it's such a long name. So I'm going to tell you real quick. Let me turn the volume down.
No
Yes,
worries.
it's Melody underscore MBP counseling. So it has my name, Melody underscore MBP counseling. And then Facebook, Instagram is Mending Broken Pieces Counseling and Consulting Services.
Sounds great. I love it. Let me say two things. One, thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Secondly, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Without you, we just don't have a show. So we appreciate you inviting us into your home and being a part of this. I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, by the way, whether you're doing really, really well and you're just moving to that next level of success that's just waiting for you, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I still believe your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Shay Brown. I'm out. Peace. Melody, thanks so much, everybody. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
all on the other side. God bless and keep doing God's work. Bye-bye for now.